Good evening and welcome to ITV News. This is Thursday night's calendar.
Hello, thanks for joining us. Here are tonight's main stories.
A prisons watchdog says the number of suicides at HMP Leeds is a critical concern.
Also tonight, the boy accused of murdering Harvey Wilgoose tells his trial he posed with weapons in photos to warn people to stay away from him.
The importance of treading carefully.
Both front tyres are down to the cords, literally dangerous.
A record number of MOT failures down to tyre defects.
Why the Yorkshire Water hosepipe ban is leaving staff but not the gardens at one local pub a little wilted.
And that much needed rain, it looks like it's coming all at once. Warnings now in place for Friday and into the weekend. I'll have the very latest a little later on, and
we'll be joined by the teenage barrel racer from Bradford who's going stateside to compete against the best riders in the world.
First tonight to the scathing report that's found what it calls critical concerns over a number of self-inflicted deaths at HMP Leeds.
The prison watchdog that wrote the report says that a lack of investment was exacerbating an already very difficult situation caused by overcrowding and the reliance on infrastructure that's almost 2 centuries old.
Well, sadly, the report has come as no surprise to the mother of one prisoner who took his own life there, and she's now calling for urgent action. Amelia Beckett reports.
Rhys Godward was just 12 days into a 6-month prison sentence when he took his own life in 2023. His mum, Donna, says he'd suffered from mental health problems since the age of 11. Staff at HMP Leeds knew this, and yet a report into his death found there were missed opportunities to assess and manage the risk he posed to himself.
This last day, that morning I emailed the governor to say I wasn't happy with his care and the prison officers needed looking into. We got a last phone call at 13 minutes past 2. We were really distressed, said that he'd barricaded himself in his pad. And then the next phone call we got were at 4:30 asking the family to go up to hospital because he was fighting for his life.
Rhys was one of 5 self-inflicted deaths at HMP Leeds in 2023. Last year, that rose to 6, and today a prisons watchdog warned that number is of critical concern. The report from the Independent Monitoring Board said a lack of funding and resources was exacerbating an already very difficult situation caused by overcrowding and a building more than 180 years old. It questioned whether enough was being done to reduce the number of self-inflicted deaths here, including the management of prisoners with severe mental health problems.
We've identified that in circumstances where within the prison, the healthcare team within the prison identifies that the prisoner requires specialist mental health care within the secure mental hospital estate, it is taking an extraordinary long period of time before those prisoners get a bed within that estate. We're talking months.
Do you think if that was improved, the number of self-inflicted deaths would reduce?
It's always hard to kind of be confident in terms of cause and effect, but I think it will help.
The Ministry of Justice says it fully acknowledges the challenges at HMP Leeds and has taken steps to address the number of self-inflicted deaths. But the social justice charity NACRO warns wider investment in prisons is fundamental.
I'm afraid this is happening all over the country, and it's something that we need significant action from the government, not just to do what it's doing, which is to reduce the number of people in prison, but to invest in mental health services and support for people who are in prison.
Donna's son was supposed to be in prison for 6 months. Now she faces life without him. And without proper investment, this report finds efforts to help others like him will continue to be undermined. Amelia Beckett, ITV News, Leeds.
The 15-year-old boy who stabbed fellow pupil Harvey Wilgoose to death at school in Sheffield has told a jury he posed with weapons in photos to warn people to stay away from him and, in his words, don't cause a problem.
Yes, the boy who can't be named because of his age denies murdering Harvey, who was also 15, at All Saints Catholic High School. And today his trial was shown a series of photos and video clips as he was giving evidence for a second day at Sheffield Crown Court.
Fraser Maud was in court and heard the defendant tell the jury that he bought the axe he posed with from another pupil.
This is the second day that the boy accused of Harvey Wilgoose's murder has been on the stand giving evidence in his defence. Yesterday we heard that bullying and a difficult home life had led to him having problems in controlling his anger and being unable to control his temper when upset. Today we heard details of how he punched a wall in frustration after confrontation with another pupil at school after he'd been racially abused. And then we heard that after another incident he'd heard Harvey Wilgoose whispering to a friend about the boy being attacked after school. Nothing happened on that occasion. The boy had left school early, but he said that it made him feel that Harvey, who he'd previously seen as a friend, had somehow turned against him. The court was also shown stills and videos taken from the boy's mobile phone of him posing with a variety of weapons, including a knife, an axe and a hammer. And we heard that in December 2024, the boy's mother had notified police that she'd found a weapon in his bag. That turned out to be the axe that he'd been photographed with. The defendant said that he bought the axe from a boy at school. He intended to buy a knife, he said, but when the boy turned up with an axe, he decided to buy that instead because he said that he wanted it for protection when he went out. His defence barrister asked him why he took the videos and photos. The boy said, they see the pictures, they're going to think, I'll stay away from him, don't cause a problem with him. Defence said, why do you want them to be scared of you? The accused replied, people that cause problems for me. He added, they wouldn't threaten me, they wouldn't try and cause problems with me. The court has heard that the defendant, who can't be named because of his age, has pleaded guilty to manslaughter but denies murder. He's also pleaded guilty to carrying a bladed weapon to school. The trial here in Sheffield continues. Fraser Maud, ITV News, Sheffield.
A teenage boy has died after the scooter he was riding on crashed in Hemsworth. The bike collided with a street sign whilst travelling around a right-hand bend on Market Street in the early hours of this morning. 15-year-old boy suffered serious head injuries and died in hospital. Another 15 and 16-year-old who were also riding on the bike have been arrested in connection with the incident.
The number of people over the age of 16 who are unemployed in Yorkshire and northern Lincolnshire has risen by 1.4% over the past 12 months, taking the figure to 138,000. The year-on-year increase for the region far outstrips the rise in the jobless total in any other region. The government says they've added over 385,000 new jobs since last summer and are funding new work to remove barriers to employment.
Home Office Minister Jess Phillips has defended the government's decision to suspend York Central MP Rachel Maskell from the Parliamentary Labour Party after she rebelled over welfare reforms. She was one of 4 MPs disciplined for breaching party discipline. Ms Phillips says that MPs who consistently rebel cannot go unchecked.
It's nothing to do with welfare. From what I can gather, from what I can read, just like everybody else, is that there has been a persistent problem of them speaking persistently against the government, and no government can operate without any discipline. The idea that we can all just be going off and saying whatever we want, that's not how you govern.
OK, still to come here on Calendar before 6:30.
When I was 6 months, she just sat me on one, and then I've just ridden from there.
Go, go, go!
The Bradford barrel racer who's jetting off stateside for the ride of her life. Plus,
join us at this pub in Leeds to find out why Henry here has lost out on his job watering the gardens to Ronan, and it's all because of the hosepipe ban.
And we do have some rain on the way, but not in the right way. Some low cloud this morning, humid today, thundery tomorrow. All the detail a little later on.
Well, next tonight, too many drivers are on the roads with unsafe tyres. That's according to a leading road safety charity.
Yes, TyreSafe says motorists are often ignoring the notes they get after their MOT inspections. Some advisories aren't enough to fail, but still need to be checked.
And experts say that not checking could, of course, cause accidents. James Webster reports.
When cars come for their MOT at this garage in Leeds, one of the main reasons they can fail is the state of their tyres.
We see a quarter of the MOT failures to do with tyres. So people are obviously leaving the tyres a bit too long throughout the course of a year, and they have advisories on top, so about 23% doesn't take into account the advisories. Some tyres will last another 6 months, some tyres will last a year. It depends on how many miles you're doing within the year. You can check your tyres periodically, and I think people are failing to do that.
More than 2 million vehicles failed their MOT last year because of tyre defects, an increase on the previous year. 36% of those were problems linked to a previous advisory, not enough to fail, but still needing action. And defective tyres are recognised as a factor in many road crashes. Several leading road safety organisations, including ROSPA and TyreSafe, are now demanding tighter safety regulations.
We suggest you do this at least once a month. Put your hand under, come down, put your hand under and feel the tread depth. There's a bar periodically around the tyre. Now, the legal minimum for a tread in this country is 1.6 millimetres.
And that's this thickness here?
That's the thickness you can put your finger in, yeah.
They think there should be mandatory follow-ups on advisory notes from garages.
I would have thought that most of these 750,000 advisories, by the time they came in next time, they would be illegal. Certainly, if you are being given an advisory because your tread is low, unless you're doing very, very minimal mileage a year, you will have worn that down until your tyres are illegal.
Without replacing a worn tyre, this is what can happen.
This morning we had a lady come in for a service, an annual service, no issues. Upon taking the wheels off, we noticed both front tyres are down to the cords. Literally dangerous. That is really dangerous.
They are dangers the AA says drivers need to be better educated about.
When you think about it, our tyres are the only part of our car that come into contact with the road, so it's vitally important, not only from a safety perspective, but financially it can affect your fuel economy, and also legally you need to make sure that your tyres aren't dangerous or you're at risk of prosecution, points and a fine.
The Department for Transport told us we take road safety seriously. Our stringent MOT tests ensure that any vehicle with unsafe tyres cannot be legally driven on our roads. So for now, no stricter rules, leaving the responsibility for checking and maintaining tyres with drivers. James Webster, ITV News.
Yeah, really important to check those tyres, isn't it? OK, by now we all know that there's a hosepipe ban, don't we?
There most certainly is, and my plants aren't looking too good in the garden.
No!
No, they're wilting.
Oh, terrible. Well, on the face of it, it should mean less work, shouldn't it? Because people are unable to get out and water the garden.
Yeah, but the so-called quirks of the ban have actually created more work for one pub in Leeds, where they're having to take on, well, an extra pair of hands.
Yes, at the Myrtle Tavern, where I've played cricket in the past, actually. Yeah, they say because the award-winning gardens are ornamental and not used for produce, they're having to fill watering cans, which is more than double the workload. Add that to a water bill increase and they're all feeling, well, a little wilted. Helen Steele now reports.
So these plants in the gardens are really important to your business, aren't they?
Yeah, massively. We've been working them for probably like 14 years now.
Landlord Scott Westlake's calculated that trade is up 40% when customers can use the gardens. But the hosepipe ban means although he could jet wash the bricks, he can't water the plants, as they're not classed as part of the business. With this ban, what's that meant for you then?
So basically we'd have one person who would water them, probably takes about 2 hours to do it properly. It's now a 5-hour job with a watering can.
So this is another part of the garden, so kind of hence why you need these two, right?
Yes.
OK.
That's it. I'll leave it to them.
Thank you. How do you two feel about this? So, Henry, you're doing this for us today, aren't you? But actually, this isn't your job anymore, is it?
Yeah, I'm just doing it for today, but recently I've lost some hours because of the hosepipe ban. And I can't carry on because the amount of time it takes for me to do it, it's just not enough time for me to have.
So you've had to give it up?
Give it up and give it to Ronan, yeah.
Give a job to... And how do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm not happy about it because I'm losing hours and losing money.
Well, it's well documented that Yorkshire Water has issues when it comes to wasted water. Latest figures showing 283 million litres of water are lost to leaks every day, making the hosepipe ban and its quirks hard to swallow. And while the flowers keep growing, so too do the bills. Given how complicated it is, How do you feel about your water bills?
Our bills have gone up 23% this year, and by 2029 there'll be a 41% increase on Yorkshire Water. So 41% over 5 years is a big increase to then be told you can do this, you can't do that. Fix your stuff, sort your pipes out, and then we probably won't have a ban anyway.
Meanwhile, Yorkshire Water says it's grateful to customers like Myrtle Tavern, which have responded positively to the restrictions. That's meant a significant drop in usage. It added that a frustrating ban is less likely in the future as it invests £406 million in new pipes. Back at the pub, they believe they're using the same amount of water as before. But new employee Ronan's hoping he's done enough to make a splash with his new boss. What will you do once the hosepipe ban is gone, though? Sorry to ask.
I'm hoping they might keep me on. You know, I can show what I'm worth and try to get on the good side.
Helen Steele, ITV News in Leeds.
You know, I put my back out, actually, watering the plants with a watering can.
Really? Too much work for you, was it?
Because normally I'd use a hose, but it's quite heavy.
Back-breaking stuff. I know it's bad news for people that they can't use hose pipes at the moment.
Well, you just can't, can you? That's how it is.
The watering can salesmen are quids in, aren't they? Here we are, Kerry.
Take 6 just for my tiny weeny little garden.
There you go.
Think of the weightlifting that you're doing, though.
Think of those biceps.
Yeah.
It was very humid today. Did you notice it? Very different. A lot of low cloud around as well. This was the scene at Scarborough first thing this morning. Quite moody, quite atmospheric. But oh my gosh, people in this region, 5 gold stars. Look, they're in the deck chairs, they've got the shorts on. Someone's pitched a tent at the beach, but this was the view at Scarborough earlier on today.
Very British side. We're on holiday. We're going to the beach.
Love it.
No matter what the weather.
Whatever. And I love it. So thanks for sharing, Rose. Now I want to get a little bit serious just for a minute here. I've shown you these two maps before, but not side by side. So on the left, it was June's rainfall. You can see our patch particularly dry. We've talked about that a lot. On the right, you can see the satellite picture from space, and you can see how dry our patch is, sort of coinciding with the lack of rainfall. We've got weather warnings in place for tomorrow and through into Saturday, and that's pretty much where we need the rain. But unfortunately, when we get the rain, we're going to get it all at once. So there's a risk of some thunderstorms on Friday afternoon, so tomorrow afternoon from midday to 8 o'clock, 40 to 60 millimetres in a short space of time. But really, it's tomorrow night into Saturday where all parts of the region are at risk between 9 p.m. and 6 p.m. the following day of some really intense thunderstorms. And we could, within 3 to 6 hours, get 60 to 90. If that actually comes off, that will be quite serious, because a whole month of July, our rainfall for Leeds, for example, is about 85 millimetres. So yeah, just stay tuned to the forecast tomorrow, because it does look like Saturday could be a washout, at least for the first half of the day. But I like to end with a smile, don't I, before the forecast, of course.
I recognise that picture.
I do
I
as
showed
well.
you this yesterday because we were talking about the RHS Flower Show, of course, at Wentworth. And this was Kev and Rose's garden and their garden seats. And you said to me, Lara,
I said, I'd like to see Kev there.
where are Kev and Rose?
Hey.
And there they are. Absolutely love it. Absolutely 5 gold stars, and thank you so much for sharing.
But I want to know who's taking the picture.
I hope he's
Maybe we should get another one tomorrow, Kevin Rose. Send us another one. Thanks, Kerry. Now to the small visual effects studio based in the heart of York, which is making a big mark on the industry.
Yeah, Viridian FX specialises in visual effects for film and television, including, get this, House of the Dragon, the prequel to the Game of Thrones. Just a decade, they have become one of the biggest visual effects studios outside of London.
Well, our reporter Sarah Clark has been given exclusive access behind the scenes to see the remarkable work they do and learn about new emerging technology.
So in the final show you will see this. So this is what is essentially shot on set, and we receive this footage, and in this particular case we'll remove the blue screen, add the background to create the realistic end result. Most of the visual effects industry is actually about what we call invisible effects. So anything from changing a background to removing something that's unwanted to adding a skyline above a city. You know, any show that you go home and watch tonight, guarantee it will have a lot of visual effects in it. You probably just don't know about it.
Well, to see that and much, much more, go to the ITVX app on your phone or online, click on categories, then news, and scroll down. Along with our latest programmes, you can catch up with exclusive content and some of our best stories, all available on ITVX On Demand.
Yeah, Yeah, it's well worth a watch. And finally, it is safe to say that there aren't many cowgirls in Bradford.
I think it's fair.
So the teenager, Eloisa Atkinson, who lives in Oakenshaw, is a bit of a, what shall we say, Lone Ranger?
Very clever. But that doesn't deter the 15-year-old who's jetting off to America tomorrow to compete against the world's best riders. That's because Eloisa has been selected to ride in the National Barrel Horse Teen and Youth World Championships. This is Eloisa in action, and you can see she's a bit of a natural.
Amazing stuff. So fast, so talented.
Scary.
Yeah, Eloisa Atkinson, thank you for joining us in the studio. How are you feeling about this big competition?
A little bit nervous, but I'm really excited to go over and just have a go at it.
It's going to be an incredible experience, isn't it? Have you ever done anything like this before?
Yeah, so in 2021 I went over to Malta when I was only 12 years old and competed over there. And then we went over to South Africa in 2023. That was a little bit different because it was Western Mounted Games, but it did involve barrels as well. And then in also 2023, we went over to America and did the Open and Senior. So it's a little bit different to the youths, but it is in the same place, so yeah.
Old hat.
Well, not a lot of people are going to know exactly what you're doing. So should we have a look at some more pictures of you in training? And maybe if you just talk us through as well, because there's this whole barrel thing, isn't there? What's that about?
So as you can see, I turn it to the right, and then the next two, I turn them to the left. It really just depends on your horse. So you run it in a cloverleaf pattern, and then it's just in the fastest time possible, basically.
You said it depends on your horse, but when you go to America, your horse there is Peaches, isn't it? But you're not going to have Peaches with you in America because obviously you can't get a passport or you can't get on the aeroplane with you to America, can he?
No.
So what's going to happen?
So you've just got to talk to the horse's owner who you're riding, like talk to them about the horse, how it runs, like what their best way is, and like how you've just got to ride them.
So
basically.
You're being given a horse to ride that you've never seen before, never sat on or ridden before.
No. So we're gonna go, and then like whatever day, we're just gonna get on them, have a practice probably around an hour, run them a couple of times, and then go straight into the competition.
Louisa, how did you get into this? Because it's not something you just rock up to, I imagine. There's not lots of these things going on around Bradford, are there?
No, so we saw an advert on Facebook for barrel racing at 4 Strides, and we went over to a venue in Yorkshire. We tried it on my old pony Lily. It's from there, basically. Just loved it.
You're riding horses from a young age as well.
Yeah. So I've been riding all my life. My mum's had horses most of her life, and when I was like 6 months, she just sat me on one, and then like I've just ridden from there.
And you set off tomorrow?
Friday morning, yeah. So, you know, it's like what we wear, like this is my team shirt for America, and we get them custom made. So it's embroidered on the back with 4 Strides logo. I like my pink and I like my sparkles. So my mum makes a lot of like tasseled things, so she'll put tassels on them, she'll sparkle them. So we've got like Union Jack jeans where they're jeans, and we've decorated them with Union Jacks just to bling us up a bit and make us a look more decorated.
We wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
And have a fantastic time, yeah. What an adventure.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for you.
Thanks for coming to see us.
Thank you. Well, let's go to the weather now. Here's Kerry.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again. Yes, already feeling quite humid today with plenty of cloud nudging in from the south and west. After that misty start first thing this morning, we've got some lively showers mixed in with hot sunny spells as we head through into tomorrow, and those thunderstorms becoming a little bit more widespread and persistent Friday night into Saturday. This has been the scene so far today. We had the clear skies ahead of this system, but the low cloud and the fret out towards the coast, and then we're in a warm sector pretty much as we head through into tonight and tomorrow. So a lot of cloud around, some dampness in the air, an occasional shower this evening. But as we head into the early hours, we're mostly dry but muggy, and still quite a lot of cloud around, 17 or 18 for towns and cities.
Great shot taken by Nick, thanks for sharing. 4:58 and 9:26 are your sun times as we head into Friday. Then we'll see a mainly dry start to the day with some hot sunshine soon developing through the morning. Temperatures will be in the high 20s tomorrow and it will spark off some showers. The showers will be heavy, possibly thundery, and we do have the weather warning in place for the Humber across to Leeds and northwards for the risk of those to be really quite intense, particularly over the North York moors. But elsewhere in the sunshine, really feeling quite hot and humid and pretty intense. The showers will nudge their way northwards during the evening and then there will be a little bit of a respite before again through Friday night and into Saturday, further heavy and thundery downpours push their way northwards, really quite unsettled with some surface water spray, localised flooding certainly possible. Not cold though, hot and humid. There'll be a brief respite but further showers can possibly heavy and thundery mixed in with sunny spells Sunday into Monday.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather. Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
We've got moderate grass levels at the moment and also weed pollen, nettle and plantain. It's moderate as we head through into tomorrow and Sunday with some sunny spells, but all getting washed away on Saturday.
I was hoping for a bit of sun on Saturday.
No, it's not going to
Disappointed.
happen.
No, it's not, is it?
Sorry. Blame her. OK, that's it for now though, isn't it? Aris back at 10:30. Lucrezia next.
Good night.
Night.
See ya.
Bye.